Welcome back everybody, I'm Shane from Direct Bird Products. Welcome back to the bird room. So, obviously since the last time I did a Friday's episode, quite a few things have happened, as a lot will know. I had to go into hospital and stuff, and I will explain that shortly. Not get into any nitty gritty, but obviously I want to thank people that's helped me out and stuff. But anyway, since then Matt's been down, filmed the show here, albeit it was literally as I came out of hospital, like I just said. But I'm really looking forward to seeing that episode, and hopefully it doesn't come across that I was too sick, because there was a point in there where I thought I was going to pass out, where I never told him, because Matt put a lot of effort into, obviously, to get from where he is to where I'm in London. It's quite a way, and obviously staying in an hotel and things like that, so I didn't want to put him off trying to get the episode filmed, because I know Mal, he's too nice, and he would have just said no, we'll do it another day, which wasn't an option in my opinion. Been to a couple of shows, done really well. I'll explain that as the episode goes on, and what we're progressing to do over the next few months. So, as I explained, I end up for one reason or another having to go into hospital. Not going to talk about that. What I'm going to talk about though is my wife and daughter. In the time that I was there, the day after and even the day after that, my daughter, in fact, was absolutely fantastic. Came in my shed, cleaned every single cage out, fed the birds. Not just clean them out, scrub the cages. She did everything, and which brings me on to the next thing, really, about women with birds, and I don't think there's enough of them. I'm going to give a mention to a few. Ellen up north, and Miranda, both regular viewers to our channel, so thanks for watching to you both, and two new ones that I've met recently over the last few weeks. Nesta, brilliant name for a bird keeper, and Nesta, and I can't remember your partner's name, sorry. My daughter will tell me, she'll be screaming at this TV telling me what name it is. But anyway, this lovely couple met at one of the sales, and obviously they knew me before I knew them, because they'd been watching my episodes. Came up to me, and we're having a long chat, and thanks for watching to both of you. And it was just nice to actually see more women involved in the hobby, because we all probably, at least I did a few years ago, just assumed it was a man's hobby. And in fact, there's more women coming around, and I just encourage more and more women into this fine hobby. Like I said, my daughter did a fantastic job of the cages, very clean, can't fault her. That bloody dog's back out there again chewing. I will show you on an episode, he's getting really big really quick. So yes, anyway, in the time after that, my daughter asked me, which made me a little bit upset. She said, "Dad, can I buy some of your birds from you?" And I said, "No." I said, what do you want to buy birds? She said, "I want to start showing again, and I want to start breeding them again." And the whole reason we stopped, me and my wife stopped the kids, because both Tyler and Lucy used to show birds, used to show new colours and Gloucesters. The only reason I stopped them is because the shows around here, it was unfair, where, don't get me wrong, they did quite a bit of winning, and I always encourage juniors to get out and show birds, but when you're showing against people that, say for instance one guy, he was showing a greenfinch one week in his name. Week after an alternate show, he was showing it his granddaughter's name, and that really pissed me off. I was that meant to encourage juniors, and back then my kids was more than happy just to get a rosette on the cage without people like that ruining it for the juniors. So that's why we stopped them from showing, and it just wasn't fair on them. So saying that, when she asked me that the other day, I did think about to myself, well, in time to come that she'll get a little bit older and probably either lose interest or get a bit obsessed with it, because we all do. Every single one of us bird breeders is quite obsessed with everything about birds. But we'll just have to play that by ear when it is, because I do want her to show. I do want her to breed birds. I think it's a fantastic hobby, but I don't want to have her having to put up with the stuff that I've seen. I think it's wrong. So that's enough about the doom and gloom of that. But Lucy, if you're watching this, we'll sort some out, darling, and you can have my birds. You don't need to buy them from me. Anyway, let's talk about the shows. Brilliant to be back at shows, absolutely fantastic, and nice to catch up with new old people I've known for a few years and just have a general chit chat. I think that's what it's all about, really. We'll start with the first show. This is my first show showing, obviously, as myself. I was in partnership with Mark Ponting before. Brilliant partnership we had together, and obviously we produced some fantastic birds for the show bench. But now I'm on my own. Wanted to make sure they're winning and taking part in the showing. Just carry on the path that I had when I was with Mark Oz. Trust me, I will hear this. You only was winning because your partnership with Mark. Well, that's absolute rubbish. And Mark will tell you that we was in it together, and everything about the showing and breeding was done as a team. So the first show, CBS show, and don't get all your knickers in a twist. CBS shows without these nunners would be here, and you should support them. Any CBS show that is local to you, get down there and support them, because if we don't, they'll just be gone. So I ended up taking Best Norwich, Best British, Best Muller Hybrid, Best Current Year Bred Hardbill. So we'll start with the Norwich. I've got it actually here, and the only reason I've got it here is because I'm not worried about people knowing this bird, because as the year progresses I won't be showing Norwich as much. It's more along the Fifes and the Greenfinches. So, as you'll probably agree with me, lovely current year bred buff hen bird. I think really good body type on her. If anything I had to pick on, a bit too much feather. First time she'd obviously been shown was the show there. Lovely bird, and works for perch as well for a Norwich. They're not slouched down. You do see some Norwich on the show bench. They look fat and lazy, hanging over the perches. I think everyone will agree. It's a lovely buff. I'm saying hen, but may turn out to be a cock bird. I hope not. I hope it's hen bird. What did I enter? I entered 3 Norwich, 2 current year bred, and 1 adult buff. All buffs actually, only because it seems to be the buffs are better than the couple of yellows I've got. Not got too many yellows. Just down to one thing or another, but that's by the by. I also entered a good class of greenfinches, whether it be current year hens or current year cocks. Current year hens, I won the class. There wasn't just me showing. Some shows you'll get to and you'll hear people bragging off, yeah, I won my class, when there's only basically them in the class. There was obviously other champions in there, and I won the class. Not taking anything away from anyone else that showed. But my opinion is, on the day the judge got the Greenfinch class totally wrong. I won Best British with an adult Greenfinch cock who's actually in the cage training. Reason being is I don't want anyone to get in any arguments about, well, it is better, because I know it's better. His son, the current year bred bird, his son is way better than the adult bird, but the judge put the wrong bird up on the day for me. And everyone else that I'd spoken to about it, they all in agreement with me. So you can probably see the 2 cages behind me, both empty, because I don't want you to see the birds. They're in training cages out the way, so they're not marked as a class as a marked bird. and there's no arguing between people. I think that's only fair, because I'm going to show green finches at the next shows. Might not be these two, might be another brother, sister, cousin, whatever. I won't show them on camera leading up to that, due to the fact that I just think it's wrong. People know your birds, and if a judge is watching, they've known that bird before, they've judged it before they've even seen it on the show bench. Totally wrong. Like I said, also shown an hybrid, also won Best Mueller Hybrid in show. I'm not too bothered about that, to be fair. What it is for me is entering birds into the show for people to see, and if I win, over the moon, definitely. If I don't and the best bird has won, I'll go over and shake that guy's hand, and I have done many a times, and I've got no grudges against people that's winning, that's got quality birds, because at the end of the day, that's what we all like to see. So also, I did enter some fives. Now, the fives itself are coming on a lot better than I think or thought they would do. To a point where I've got a lot of decisions to make over the next 3 months of how many pairs I'm going to run next year, and what I'm going to do with them. They're not going anywhere, don't get me wrong, but they are a credit to the guy that originally started the line, and I'm just carrying them on. So what am I going to do with them? I'm going to go into them, and I'm going to probably run 12 pairs, 15 pairs instead of 8 this time. Different. All I had to play with before was dark birds, green birds. Now, thank you to Matt Eld at the Canary Room, I have acquired 2 pairs from him, and I have acquired a pair of this from somewhere else. But, and this is a big but, what I do want to touch on, and it is anyone, any champion breeder or any breeder that is exhibiting birds will tell you this as well. So we all go to shows, we see birds there for sale that might look brilliant, and I've done it many times. Because you're there and the bird's there, you buy it. But remember, whether it be with fives, greenfinches, borders, Gloucesters, are they going to benefit your bird? Are they going to benefit your line? So basically what I did, obviously got Matt's birds. In the back of here, I actually, not going to show you the ring numbers, but I did write down some of the birds that I have actually acquired. And the reason I wrote them down, I don't want to lose sight of where they are. Say for instance, like I said, I've got majority green birds, heavily variegated, that type of bird. If I bought a green bird in, I could easily get that mixed up with my line, and I don't want that. So the birds I've got in are to improve what I've already got. Don't get me wrong, the birds that I've got in are way above the standard of my birds, but I bought them, obviously not the ones that I got from Matt, because that was a gift. I bought them on the pretense that they're going to improve. What is mine lacking? Well, there was a couple of birds when I looked at the show. Mine was lacking the head clearance with the neck. So I bought 2 birds. The bodies weren't as good as mine, but the head on that was obviously way better than mine. That's what mine's lacking. So obviously buying that in for a reason, and it weren't expensive. On the other hand, I did also buy a cinnamon, or it's a cinnamon and a white fawn, a white ground bird, because I've got no the white line going. Bought that in for that reason, because I want to start that line going forward. So just remember that. We're all quick to go and buy birds because they look good, and we're all eager. Everyone does it. But before you do, just think, is that going to benefit me? Is that going to be what I am going to use and actually get the potential out of it? Because I've done it with greenfinches, and then actually get home and look at it and think, I've just spent money on something that is not as good as my birds. It's not going to do anything for me because it might be shorter, it might be down on colour than what you want, and so on and so on. So just bear that in mind when you go to shows. So, the next show was an all five show. I've never done one before, and I went, same again, it weren't long being out of hospital, and zero energy whatsoever. Took a friend of mine, good friend of Bob, with me. We had a little trade stand on there just with some bits, just to basically get my the company name out there a little bit more anyway. And did show a few birds and did really well in the heavily variegated class, as you'll see in the picture. And Matt came over and said congratulations. It was actually the picture is courtesy of Matt held at the Canary Room. He was one of the judges there, and I basically said to me, "You sure that's my bird? I don't want to, get my hopes." He said, "Yes, I've just been and checked. It's your bird. Can I have a picture?" Blah blah blah. So thanks for that, Matt. And yeah, when I did compare it to other birds, actually, I was very surprised. In fact, let me grab that bird. I have put a ring back on it just to show which one it is, and I'll explain that shortly. So this is obviously the heavily variegated bird. If I can get it up, I've just literally just caught it up just to show you quickly. I'm sure it'll get up on the cage shortly. I mean, it's going to be pulling now, just because it's just been put in a cage in front of a camera that it's not really used to, but the picture will do the bird a little bit better justice. And yes, absolutely over the moon with that. For me, going to a show and showing your birds that you've spent that time breeding, obviously the year leading up to the show season, and you get so much of achievement by winning with your own birds. I've got nothing against anyone showing birds that they've bought, because I've done it. I've shown birds that I've bought as a novice, and it's good to win a show. Do remember that people who buy birds in spend a lot of time preparing them birds for the show, steadying it down, and there's a lot of work goes into it. Not just going and buying a bird and putting in a show cage. That's not how it works. It doesn't work like that. To say, oh, you bought that bird. Yeah, well, I've put a lot of effort into that. I've had to colour feed that. I've had to do this with it. So there is a lot of work that goes into that. But you're not going to get the benefit like you would with breeding your own. That's just me. So, as I mentioned, we had a lovely visit from Matt held at the Canary Room, and me and Matt's been talking for quite some time now, whether it be over Facebook, WhatsApp, over the phone, through breeding season, keeping tabs on each other, see how things are going, see if I can help him with the British side, and vice versa, him helping me out with the Fifes. And to be honest with you, I thought I knew quite a lot about birds until like it came to the Fifes, and there's so much nitty gritty little bit that you don't even think about. So that bloody dog's gonna send me crazy. He just goes around digging my garden up. So yeah, so visit from Matt. Night before, like I said, not been out of hospital that long. In fact, he rang me earlier that day. Said, "You're not in hospital again, are you?" Because obviously, no, I'm in hospital. I said, "No," and I think he got a bit worried. And so anyway, went and met up with Matt. Took him out for some dinner. We had a lovely curry and a couple of beers together. Just talking birds, and we have quite a lot of the same interests. We all do, keeping birds, but he enlightened me on the Fife, like the Federation and the Fife Council and what's going on, and I didn't know that much politics were involved with birds, but seems to be. But anyway, had a lovely evening. Next morning, bright and early, come here, film the birds, and hopefully, I mean, I have spoken to him a couple of times since then. Hopefully, he had a nice time. I'm almost sure he did. So I'm just watching my young chaffy hen up here. Oh, she's not young, she's quite old now, but always lovely to see, coming forward, introducing herself. So yes, he came round. I think he liked some of the birds. That's all I'm going to say. You'll have to tune into his episode for that. And yeah, really nice. He met obviously the family and the kids and the dog. Jumping up at him every 5 minutes. So, but yes, his episode will be coming out. I think it's actually Sunday. Depends. It really depends. So obviously, there's a lot of work goes into the editing and things that Matt does on his. Once he's filmed, he has to take it home and edit it, and that obviously takes a while. So, but I'm almost positive it is out Sunday. So yes, that was that, and as he was here, you know, his knowledge was valuable to a point where it made me really rethink the Fifes, to a point where I've got it wrong with some certain birds, like the classifications, especially in the all five classification. They're totally different to a CBS classifications. But that is for another day, because I could talk about that all day, and it's not what everyone wants to see. So moving forward, obviously the next few weeks we're like the start of, if you like, the show season, and looking around at some of the birds are changing every single day. Not the Fifes, the greenfinches are. Don't get me wrong, I picked greenfinches out really early on in the nest, as regular viewers will know. I picked a couple of current year cock birds out and a couple of current year hen birds out, and they develop at different levels. One cock, for instance, will literally bang, and you could see it's a good bird. Then you won't think too much about the one that obviously fell behind, and then you'll look one day and think, where's that bird come from? Every bird is individually. The metabolism on them birds is individual. The rate of growth is individual. So this is why people are not in so much a hurry to move the birds on. Obviously this time of year, some people do. As soon as they finish breeding, right, I know what's staying and what's not. But me, yeah, I'll leave it as late as possible, because you don't know what you're going to lose over winter. So with the greenfinches, I have got the pick of probably 10, 12 cocks. Current year adult cocks is plenty to choose from for various shows, and it's one thing I won't do is put one, especially if it's part of the breeding format for next year. I won't put in too many shows. Breeding is more important to me than showing. Same with the hen birds. I've got, well, I haven't, I'll tell a lie. I've got some to choose from, not as many as we like. That's just been me being greedy with the quality. But I am trying to get a good outcross hen or cock bird. Really, ideally hen, because I'm happy with the cock birds I've got moving forward. And everyone always wants hens. I'm not doing it for the sex of the bird. It's just the fact that my cock birds are slightly a level up from the hen birds, and I really could do with an hen bird to increase the hen bird line. But that's asking a lot, because few and far between are the top guys, which I know myself that with the greenfinches, so many people are on the list before you've even started breeding. So it's a tricky one to get into. So that's them shows. Obviously we've also got more all canary shows I'm looking to do, which I thought was rather good, because it also put show birds against quality birds and people that have been breeding these birds for some number of years, and see how you're progressing with them birds, because it's pointless taking them just to the same CBS shows, showing against a certain circuit of people, you know, your average Joes that you show against every week. You're never going to really see or put your birds to the test unless you take them to a bigger show. like with the British birds, the all British, and same with the Fifes, the all Five show, because that's when you're going to see if your birds are improving from year upon year. And I do know certain individuals that don't go out their own comfort zone with the birds, and they I've got this, I've won every show last year, but did you win anything special? I don't know, you tell me. So don't claim to have your best birds, boys, if you don't put them to the challenge of the bigger shows. Might upset a few people that, but I'm honest. I'm just giving an honest opinion. But yeah, I mean, I'll have a pan round shortly and just show you some of the Fifes. So actually, I'm still training the Fifes. Not very long. Training some of the greenfinches up there. Trying to get back into the routine I did before I had to go in hospital. And some birds have changed since that couple of days, that period, a couple of days when I was sick. You come in and a bird will catch your eye to a point where only yesterday I came in, I was feeding in one of the flights. One of the flights I've got there, he's got some current year Fifes in there. What the last round birds and the as they were coming through, they didn't really look that good. Throw them in that flight. I ain't got to look at them too much because they're not that good, that's what I'm thinking. So yesterday I'm feeding and I'm thinking, where's that come from? Anyway, I caught the bird up and it's actually training now. It's never been in a show cage before yesterday. But without a doubt that'll make one of the show teams. Did look back on my records. I did find that it is actually one of the last, if not the last one I bred this year. Looking back, it's from one of the better pairs anyway, which is obviously one of the pairs are the younger ones that I've actually shown, so the pedigree is there, but I just overlooked it because it was in the flight. So things do change in a couple of days without even realising. So now I will just have a quick look, just show you some of the Fifes that's in the cages while I'm training them. So as you can see here, what I've got is just a few Fife show cages just there. The reason they're there rather than up on the place where I do actually tend to actually look at them is because with a Fife you need to actually see all their angles. Obviously the cage are like that for a reason. You need to look down on them. You need to obviously have a front view, side view, so I can actually get a better look at the birds all around. These at the moment they're going to get an hour in the show cage. Fifes generally are easier to train than most British, so they don't generally need that long in there. Quite like the look of that one there. And that one. And anyway, if they're in a show cage, they're in there for a reason, because obviously I've picked them, there's something I liked about them, so I don't think there's going to be any rubbish really. So this is just some greenfinches on the my makeshift judging stand. Now, all current year birds these. Just getting a bit of training off and really getting used to the drinker pots, because vital when it comes to showing birds. The birds are going to be in the cages a long period of time. They need to know where the water pot is. So that is the end of the episode for today. Did blabber on quite a bit, but just seems forever since these episodes are in between each other now. But yeah, I mean, hopefully you have found something interesting or something that you can take away from this and maybe help you further down the line with showing if you are looking to show, or just general bird keeping really, I suppose. So if anything you need, you know where to go. directbirdproducts.com, Facebook Direct Bird Products. We are on Instagram, but I don't get time to really update that, but we are on there. You've got my telephone number, it's on the website, and anything you need, give me a shout. So thanks for watching, everybody. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, you know what to do. Subscription for this doesn't cost a penny. It's just to keep you notified on the videos that we have got coming out, and when they do come out, you'll get notified straight away. Keep an eye out on Sunday for the episode from the Canary Room. Matt, I'm almost positive, has got the one sorted. He's a busy man, so I don't, if he hasn't, he hasn't. It's always next time. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I will see you soon. And like I said, welcome to the world of birds, girls, and yeah, Miranda, Helen, I still can't remember her bloody name, Nesta, something beginning with C. That's all I know. Anyway, I said I would give you a mention, but obviously I can't if I can't remember your name. Thanks for watching, and I will see you soon.